This week's proud sponsors of the episode are Murphy & Young Limited. They design, manufacture, supply and erect bespoke timber kit houses and summer houses. You can visit them at murphyandyoungltd.co.uk or contact them at info@murphyandyoungltd.co.uk. If you're looking for any information, if you get any projects they can help you with, then just give them a shout. The lads are top notch. Hope you enjoy the episode. Cheers. Alright everybody, welcome back. That's 3 weeks we've been after. Hope everybody had a good Christmas and a good New Year. We're back to the football.
Nice and refreshed, ready to rock for the new season. Let's do it. New season, new year.
Don't worry mate, we knew what you meant.
Feels like a new season because we've not been here for a couple of weeks.
Feels like it's been ages, man. Honestly, has. I've been missing it. And obviously we've not really had to put out because the season's been taking a break, so it's been a bit slow, but it's good to be back into it, man.
It is indeed, mate. And then it's good, mate, because I was worrying come the weekend there that we weren't going to have much to talk about, but some groundsmen out there deserve a massive amount of credit getting the football on, and there's a good few games to talk about, mate, so it's ideal.
That's it. We'll start with the Scottish Cup, the only game in the Scottish. Craigmark 0, Talbot 2. I don't think there's a huge amount to say about that. Talbot would have been expected to win before the game. Seems reasonably close. I've not seen anything for it. But 2-0, Craigmark are obviously far improved where they've been in the last couple of years. I think Caddis has done a really good job there, but kind of routine result for the Talbot.
Aye. It was one I struggled to find the results because it was in the Scottish Junior Cup. Did you have the same problem?
Mate, I managed to see it on Craigmark's, but Talbot basically had nothing about it.
Right, because I was on Craigmark's Twitter and Talbot's Twitter, and there was nothing really at all. Just seen it the game, the stuff before the game, but I seen on the Scottish Junior website that it was 2-0, and as you say, probably fully expected with most people. Can't really comment on the game. I've not really seen any highlights or nothing, but it's one that I'd say majority of people expected.
I know. I know.
No giant killing with Craigmark and Talbot day with the day and the Scottish Cup when they get through the rounds, mate. And that's the same. I think that's the same. Are they in the quarters or are they in the last 16 still? They're playing our ties.
That was the third round they were playing yesterday, so it must be the last 16.
Right.
G. Wilson and Jamie Glasgow get the goals. That's pretty much it. Move on to the Premier League. The Bens 4, Clydebank 0, Meda 3, Glencairn 0, Largs 1, Cumbernauld 0, Pollok 6, Bonnet 0, Cumnock 2, Kilburney 1. 5 home wins. Only 1 goal scored by an away team. I'll leave the Cumnock Kilburney game at the end. I watched the highlights of that not long ago. The Bens beating Clydebank 4-0, 1-0 with about 10 minutes to go. Clydebank seem to have capitulated, which isn't what they need with only 2 weeks to go until they play Annan in the big Scottish. Poor result for them. I think it for me, they weren't going to win the league. They dropped too many points, but I think that just cements any chance they've got a top 2 finish.
Aye, well, I think they can still finish second, but I think to win the league will be difficult for them. Watch the Moff's interview. You can tell how disappointed he was. It's unbelievable to think, but the Clydebank weren't near enough 2 years unbeaten away from home.
I know.
So that shows you how good a result that is for the Bens. Bens have picked up some really impressive results this season, and they seem to always do well against the teams up towards the top of the league and up in that top area of the league. Boy Lewis Lovren sounds as if he's a good player. I've spoken to a few people about him. They say a lot of good things about him. And then they've got the boy McTaggart's came off the bench and got a double towards the end of the game. Seen Moff talking about saying that they were chasing, trying to get back into the game. So the Bens have, by the sounds, have maybe hit them in the counter attack. But what a result! Do you know what I mean? Very impressive. It's emphatic, and I think that everybody at the Bens deserves tremendous credit for that. The management team and the players, because we all know and we've spoke really highly of Clydebank this year. So for the Bens to go beat obviously at home and win the game 4-0 is a top result for them, and a very welcome 3 points for them, and it helps them in their quest to stay in the league.
Well, that's them sitting 10th in I think it is. The Bens 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Okay. At 11th in the league, sorry. I think they would be safe. I mean, it's still pretty tight. They're only a couple of results could swing it, but it's like you said, when they play the big teams, they seem to manage to nick some results, doing really well. I wonder with Clydebank, and nobody would say it publicly, but you know what it's like. Seeing you get a big game coming up, you can't help but think forward to it. I wonder if maybe the Heeds are maybe just concentrating on Annan a wee bit as well, which can be helped because it's a huge game for the club, biggest game the club's had in probably the best part of 30 years. You know what I mean? So it's.
I don't know, PG, mate, because the boys have shown, man, and they've had the big games in the previous rounds and all. I looked at their team, and Clydebank are littered with brilliant players that, listen, you would, always would bite the horn off to get any of them. Like Nicky Little on the bench and stuff, I seen he was on the bench and a couple others, and Moff kind of touched on it. I think a lot of teams have struggled, not just Clydebank, but right across the board with players with COVID and maybe bits and bobs like that. So I can't comment too much on it, but I think they've just had a bad day at the office, and the Bens have played really well and done the business. But I don't think Moff would allow his players to look forward to that Annan game, because I think they've got Pollok. Well, no, it was meant to be. I thought it was a cup game against Pollok, but it's not, because its fixtures changed a wee bit. But it's hard to read into. You can't read into too much. It's the first game back after Christmas, man. Maybe a wee Christmas hangover in there and all.
Maybe I think you can't help but look forward to such a big game and quarterfinals of the Scottish. You know what I mean? It's mental, the possibility that we could potentially have 3 teams at our level reaching the 5th round into it. We're going to reaching that level, be insane. Moving on, big win for Largs, beating Cumbernauld 1-0. Cumbernauld are always quite a tricky team, even though they've had a bad run of late and they've dropped right into trouble. It's a good one for Largs. They're kind of slowly about their business. Won the last 3 in the bounce, won 4 out of the last 6, only lost 1 in the last 6. Arnie's doing a really good job there. He's, after a shaky start, properly turned it around.
Aye, the boys are playing well down there. Seen Willie Sewell getting another goal. I think he's on about 20 odd goals this season. He seems to be the main man down there getting the goals. I think he scored a penalty on Saturday, so that's a big win. And I think we're looking at Largs' results. They've been really strong and resolute at the back. They seem to not be conceding too much. Seem to be quite organised quite well. So Arnie's doing really well. Getting a tune at the boys. They've picked up a really, really important 3 points. And as you say, Cumbernauld are just slipping into that wee danger zone. But they've still got quality in that team as well, where they can win games of football. But it's a very big 3 points for Largs.
Huge. Cumbernauld, that's them 4th bottom now. They are only 3 points off a safety, so it's not like it's unimaginable. It's very, very tight. But they'll be disappointed to have lost the points there. I know at least come away with something. Moving on to the Meda against Glencairn. 3-0 for the Meda. Comfortable enough. Glencairn got a man sent off in the first half, which I think kind of kills it. Look, it was quite watch the highlights, it was quite a hectic start. Both teams having chances. The Meda went 1 up on, I think it was 3 minutes or something. It was quite hectic. Meda getting a penalty as well, so it might not have been quite as emphatic as the result seems. But a good win for the Meda. Glencairn, they're safe regardless. You know what I mean? They're going to be in the division next year. That was a good win for Meda, just to kind of push themselves and try and get a wee bit closer to that top 5 or 6.
Good result for Meda. 3 goals, clean sheet. I've seen the highlights myself as well. One player, I don't know him personally, but one player I'm delighted for is the boy Boyd. Couple of years, I think he's been struggling with injuries. He's managed to get back in the park and doing what he probably does best and scoring goals. So that's nice for him, and it's nice for the Meda fans to see him back in the jersey again. And I think the other boy Gow and all down there, I think he was on the bench. I think he was out for a long time as well. So for Meda to be getting these boys back and winning, and the squad will be getting stronger at that with these players returning, it's really good with him. Glencairn, they've down to 10 men. They'll not read too much in it. They've had a good season. They're sitting in a really good position. I was looking at the league today. They're right up there, and they're still they're just right behind Harrowford, I think.
Well, that's you've got kind of Pollok, Talbot, Clydebank, Cowan, Darvo, and Harrowford are all well, Pollok and Talbot are a wee bit further ahead, but there's that wee group in the top six that are kind of reasonably tight. Then there's a good points difference between the Meda, Glencairn, Beath and Troon and Benburb. They're all kind of close to each other, and then it's kind of the bottom side. To be fair, Glencairn have done really well. I mean, that was only their second defeat in 6. They've been doing, I say they're doing a lot better than I predicted they were going to do this season. I think they should be really pleased with themselves. I can't see them sticking this year anyway.
No. They've got too much about them for me to get anywhere near getting sucked into that. Do you know, I think the league's dead hard to kind of judge because all the teams are on so many different games. There's so many different, but some teams have played 24, 25, 26 games. Other teams have played 19, 20. Do you know what I mean? So it's very hard to see because the league once they're on the same kind of games played, it's a bit easier to skip at them. But you just
a bit better. Well, you look at it, I mean, that's what I'm saying with Clydebank. They're still sitting in third place, but they're Talbot got 4 games in hand on them, 3 points ahead of them. Pollok have got a game in hand, 8 points ahead of them. Darvel, I'm really interested to see Darvel, obviously, no playing yesterday. I think that they've shown that their form's been excellent, and even winning the big Scottish and stuff, they're flying in the league. They've only played 19 games. I mean, they win their games in hand, and they are proper back in contention. And I wrote them off a few months ago. I thought they were gone for winning the league. Completely wrong. I think they've put themselves in a position where they could be really close to getting something in the league this year.
The thing is, a lot of teams have got hundreds of games to play, so there's going to get to stages of the season where it's quite demanding on the boys, and you'll see points strapped to about the place. So it's certainly going to be entertaining to watch and see.
Definitely. Pollok on that 6-0 against Bonnyton. I think the sooner the season's done for them, the better. And they find their own level next season into a league. Good one for Pollok again. They just seem to be continuing to do what they're doing. If a Talbot win their 3 games in hand, Talbot are 4 points clear. But like we've spoken before about certain teams, Pollok have got the points. The Talbot are they guaranteed to go and win the games, you know what I mean? So it's well done to Murdy.
Aye, brilliant with Murdy and the boys, and they've done exactly what they had today. Talbot have not had the game. The Darvel game's been off, and then obviously Clydebank have dropped points which worked in their favour as well. So, and then they've just took care of their own business and won the game, and impressively. And I watched the highlights of that as well. The park was immaculate.
Oh, brilliant, isn't it? I know. And the thing is, I mean, I work near there, and the streets and all that covered in slush and ice and that. They've done some job there.
Aye, park's immaculate, and Callum coming off the bench and scoring, obviously no Callum, and then Fordy getting his goals, and the boy Line as well. Do you know what I mean? I see the boy Matty Grant for me every time I see the highlights. He's involved in everything.
Took his goal well, did well, but
brilliant goal, mate. Absolutely sharp as attacked, mate, and caught the winger snoozing for Bonnyton, but it was just that sharpness and great finish, mate. No, brilliant for Pollok, brilliant for Murdy, because as a manager or a coach, or I think you always worry, how's the boys going to come back after that wee break in Christmas and New Year? Are they going to come back sluggish, or are they going to come back on it? And for him, they've come back and they've been bang on it. So brilliant, because the first one's always the one that you worry about, I think, the most, because sometimes the boys can overindulge in Christmas time.
Clearly not. They're professionals.
Yes.
Right, final game. Did you watch the Kilburn highlights today?
Mate, watched it, mate.
Right, obviously it's hard to gauge, right? But that's Cumnock's highlights, so they're putting in what they want to put into it. Kilburn should have won that. They're based off see when it's 1-0 and then the boy has the header at the back post.
Aye, off the bar.
It seemed harder today. He's obviously just been so close to it in the way it's came to him. And then what about the second goal for Cumnock? See if you're the defender behind the boy at Hornboy, is it? You want to tell?
That's fucking that. Listen, we know Tommy, not mean, and you can see the defenders made a rash decision, spur of the moment, and he didn't need to make it, mate. There was plenty of cover there, and when it gets to that stage of the game and it goes back to 1 each, you're sitting going, just take your point then, we'll go with the point, and it's just another point. on the tally, and we'll go again. And to then lose the game's a disappointment for the Kilbirnie boys. But definitely, even with the highlights, they had their chances. But at the same time as well, it's a great result, and it shows a bit of character for Cumnock. What about the first goal? You think that's a penalty? I think it was soft enough.
I actually went blank on it. Talk me through again.
Just the one where the defender for Kilbirnie makes a bit of a hash shape to start with, and then it goes through. Or is that the Hingley one? No, that was the second goal. In fact, where he makes a hash shape and the goalie comes out and the lobs the goalie. The ball just got played inside, and the defenders came run for the back of the striker to try and get it. Listen, I've seen them game right, but for me, it looked harsh, man. I didn't think it looked. I think obviously the striker's done well. He's played for it. He's felt the contact and went down. But I think it was a harsh penalty. I don't think there was a massive amount in it. But the boy Jordan Moore, has been composed, because at that moment in time and the way Cumnock's form's been, that was a massive pressure on that.
I mean, the thing is, they've had a couple of results that haven't been great at all under Gints, but at the same time, they've had a couple of important wins against the Bens,
yes,
and then against Kilbirnie, and it's teams who are they're doing their way them, and they're massive. I'm actually I've got it on YouTube now, mate. I'm actually going to have a look at it because I can't even remember. But
aye,
I'm just about to watch it.
I think we're about 6 minutes, Mark.
I've just got it on the news. So the boys get played at the top. Wide man's holding off the defender, plays it inside. Oh no, that's not a penalty for me. That's not a penalty for me. But they got it and scored it.
See on that, I don't want to take much away from Cumnock as well, because that's, as you say, Gints has picked up a win against the Bens, and that for me was a massive game for both clubs, and they've got the 3 points, and you heard and seen the relief with some of the players and that at the end, and Gints has been out and managed to get a couple of players in there the last week or so, and he'll be trying to build on that win. So it's massive for Cumnock, and well done to them. But I think Tommy, Dinky and Kilbirnie will be a bit disheartened for that, because the penalty looked harsh, and then player decision making has killed them at the very end.
You look at the Kilbirnie goal, the Cumnock keeper's made a right arse of it, where he's came out and it's just kind of he's misjudged it and kind of sclaffed it into his own net. I was quite impressed. I watched the fullbacks quite a lot and see the way that they were getting forward. And I think it was a right back of a strike in the first half. Absolute zing. It was great technique. Good save for the keeper before the goal. But
it was a wee young fullback for Kilbirnie was in the highlight package quite a bit. But it'll be disappointing for them. But one thing I'll need to mention, I think, as well, as I've seen it on social media, that how the Kilbirnie fans, that they done a joint message for Buller.
That was nice, aye.
Buller that passed away. It was in Cumnock, so I didn't know him of that, but I've seen loads and loads of things on Twitter about how big a character he was and the type he was. So it was nice to see junior fans united, coming together to pay their respects to a good man and a great man, be seeing everybody's messages for him. So it was a nice thing to see.
It was that, and then the pyro after it.
Yeah.
So
no pyro, no party.
No. Moving on to Conference A, only the one game, Girvan and Whitlets, 2-0 to Whitlets. Another one where it's an expected result, no shock. Whitlets have been doing really well recently, and I think it shows how far they've come in the last few years, that Whitlets are right up there. I mean, granted, we know Arthurlie and Shots are quite a bit ahead of everybody else in that league, but Whitlets have done a great job this year. Only lost 5 out of 22, which is pretty impressive considering. So another 2-0 win for them. Seems pretty convincing.
Mm-hmm. I think Whitlets have just been unfortunate being in the league with Arthurlie and Shots, because I think they two have been that good, especially Arthurlie, that it's a tough ask to keep up with that. But they are without doubt the best of the rest in that league, man. They win loads of football games and do really well, and they're doing a good job down there.
They definitely are. Really not much to say about that. No. Moving on to Conference B, only the one game again, and that is Glasgow United beat the Port 3-1. I'd imagine, granted, I would think that the Glasgow United would win that game because they're in a good wee bit of form now. It's their fifth win out of the last 6 league games. But I'd imagine the Port will be a wee bit disappointed to be losing 3-1. But it's good for you as well, in a sense. Could possibly get away for the Port. Because 6.5 a dozen, I suppose.
So tight, mate. So tight. If you look at the league, man, it's tight. It's tight between probably fourth and
down to about 9th or 10th.
It's very tight, mate. A couple of wins or a wee win, a draw, and you're right up, man. But good result for Glasgow United. They've been down to 10 men as well. So you go down 10 men against the Port and win the game. We all know how tough that the Port can make it for you. Well done to them as well, getting the game on. I take my hats off to every team that got their, especially the teams on the grass that got their games on at the weekend. Don't get me wrong, I think that ourselves included, and I'm including Ashfield in this, our part took a battering just before Christmas, right enough, by getting games on. But I think if teams were a bit more patient, probably, and we waited to probably 12 o'clock or that before calling it, we might have seen a wee bit even more football at the weekend, because the weather did probably feel late morning into early afternoon take a wee turn for the better. But listen, that's just the way it is. But no, tremendous amount of credit to them getting their game on, and it's been worthwhile because they've went and won the game, and it keeps them on that great run of form, and they're really good run of form.
Aye, definitely. Doing well now. Moving on to Conference C, which has quite a lot of games on, and a few of them on grass, just as you're talking about there. Ardrossan 2, Petershill 6, Neilston 1, Kilsyth 0, the Ants 2, Larkhall 1, Villa Leaving 0, Wishaw 1, Yoker 2, Villa Clyde 1, the Drum 2, Petershill 3. On the big one, Petershill beating the Drum. Absolutely massive result this weekend. Coupled with Neilston winning. Now you're looking at Petershill, Neilston and the Drum and the Rock are still well in it. I mean, that's a 4-way shout. I think this is, like we've spoken about this quite a few times, this is the most exciting league in terms of who's going to win it. And I think it's going to be some end to the season with the 4 of them all kind of going for it.
Yeah, it's an entertaining one down there. Fair play to both teams doing their best to get the game on and rejigging it and taking a later kick off and stuff to play the game. So that love to see things like that with both sides. But Lockheed, tremendous result for them, and Peasy, they're flying, as we already know. McCabe scoring a penalty in the last minute, cool as a cucumber, not mean the big man. So they're doing really well, because the Drum, I think, got themselves in front, didn't they? Went 2-1 in front.
2-1.
And then I think Peasy have got great character about them now. So hope he'll be disappointed, but for the neutral and everybody on the outside, as you say, it's great. It's good to see, because Neilston have went and got a great 3 points against Kilsyth. By all accounts, Kilsyth have been unlucky. I think Grant Hay goals for Neilston's ended up putting in a man of the match display. So he's obviously played a big part in his team getting the 3 points. So, but for Chris and the boys, another 3 points, the Drum dropping points, but Peasy winning. It's a very, very good league, mate. And then the Rock no playing, and it keeps it dead entertaining. But great result for Petershill. Hope he'll be on his boys again this week, and I'm sure they'll bounce back. But it's good for us to watch and see what happens in the next coming months.
Well, looking at it, the Drum have played 22 with 52 points. Neilston have played 20 with 46. So if they win their games in hand, they go tied top. Petershill have got 42 points with 18 games. So if they win their 4 games in hand, they go 2 points clear. The Rock get 39 points on 19 games. They win their 3 games in hand, they go 4 behind. So you could be looking at 6 points separating 4 teams at the top of the league. It's going to be excellent.
Brilliant. They've got to play each other and all, so it's It's good, not me.
Aye, it's making it interesting. On Neilston, like we kind of touched on a wee bit there. I've not really seen anything about it. You said the keepers had a great game. That's a huge result. But again, Neilston conceded 16 goals in 20 games. I mean, at our level, that's ridiculous. I mean, they concede less than you've played at this stage is always
They're strong, mate.
impressive.
It's always the base, mate, because if you're keeping clean sheets, you more than likely win games at this level if you're keeping clean sheets and you've got a habit of keeping clean sheets, because more than likely, man, you don't often see 0-0s at this level. Somebody's going to get a goal in, but if you're keeping the clean sheets, you give yourself a great chance, man.
I'm going to put, because we've kind of forgot to do it today, I'm going to put down Petershill as my result of the day. Huge one. That was between that and the
I think it would be daft of me not to get to the Bens, mate.
Aye, that's fair enough. It was between the two of them, but just for the context of the drum.
Aye, totally get it, and I like to see it getting dished about anyway, so that we're not showing any loyalties. So I'm going with the Bens, mate.
Moving on, the Ants beating Lark Hall to go into 5th place. Granted, teams about them have quite a few games in hand and they probably won't stay in 5th. But, I mean, they have won 5 and drawn 1 out of the last 6 in the league. I mean, that is unbelievable form they're in. Watching the highlights, it looked, and it's not always easy to tell. Watching the highlights, it looked like Lark Hall, particularly the first half, should have been a couple up, or really dominant in terms of chances. Graham Crawford scored an absolute fluke that he's kicked off he's kind of shanked it with his left foot, hit the fullback's foot and just looked in. But young Rui, who's a good Erskine boy for the Ants, he scored an absolute beauty, a free kick to make it 2-1 after they were 1-0 down. So it's just, Danny and the boys are doing a great job. That's, to have the Ants sitting in 5th place in that league for me is really impressive.
Aye.
Really impressive.
I think we all know the resources, and I think I don't think I'd be speaking out of turn for saying that they've not got much financial. Aye, so for Danny to be up there amongst the bigger clubs and higher than a lot of clubs that maybe can afford to give players a wee bit more, then he's assembling a good squad there, and he's got them all together.
Aye.
And they've all got this never say die attitude, and they're all in it together, which is worth more than any money out there. Do you know what I mean? If you've got a dressing room and it's tight and that, so well done to Danny. I think we've been singing his praises for weeks now, and deservedly so, because as you say, that run of form is very impressive. It doesn't matter what team it is. So brilliant 3 points for the Ants again.
To touch on Lark Hall, because it's something we don't speak much about. If they'd won yesterday, they'd have had 4 wins in a bounce, and they'd have been sitting in 5th place. Granted, the same amount of points as the Ants, and played the same amount of games. So the two of them will probably be 8th or 9th this season, I think, based off Petershill and Kilsyth, just with the sheer volume of games in hand they've got. But see the fact that the two of them could be looking at being a league higher than they were before.
Aye.
Were up in. I think both teams have had
done
really well. Moving on, Wishaw beating Vale Leaving 1-0. I think that's the first win for Dunn in charge at Wishaw after Spuds walked away.
See the best it was, and delighted for Dunny, and it's nice to see as well, because I know he's good pals with Spud. They're good pals, and Spud's wishing him many congrats. Mate, it was Dunny that came on and scored the winner, mate.
Was it? I didn't realise it.
Aye, mate. Aye. Dunny's got the winner in his first game in Charles, mate, for 3 points. Brilliant, mate.
I'll do it myself. No,
that's brilliant, mate. I'm absolutely buzzing for him, and I know that I don't know Dunny personally great, but I know that Spud speaks very highly of him, and no doubt he'll do a really good job there, and he's a very good coach, and no doubt he'll be a good manager as well. So well done to him, because to get that first 3 points is always a wee weight off the back, and no better example than the gaffer coming on and getting the job done himself, mate.
That's brilliant, isn't it?
Brilliant,
just
mate.
Walking about after it, don't worry, boys, I'll help you out.
I'll bail you out.
Final one, Yoker beating Villa Clyde. Yoker have had a very mixed bag this season for me. I thought they'd do a wee bit better than they've done. They seem to be able to put some games together. They're doing well and then they fall back. But a 2-1 win is what it is, I suppose. Villa Clyde not a great season either, but have been improving a late, so that is what it is there.
Mm-hmm. I think it's got tasty at the end. I think there's been a couple of sending halves for Yoker, and Villa Clyde scored a penalty in the 90th minute, I think, at the end. But great result for them, because I know myself how tough it is to play against Yoker, and I think it was doing at Yoker as well, was it?
Aye, it was, aye.
Aye, so to go down to Yoker, and they're normally decent on the surface as well. So very well played to Villa Clyde.
Good one for Yoker there. Final game, Division 4. It was a big one. Kilsyth beat Hamley Road 2-1. Kilsyth, they're sitting on 24 games, 50 points. Finnart, 21 games, 47 points. Everybody else is pretty much miles back after that. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 teams, 14, 28, 4 games left for Kilsyth. 4 games left.
Right.
So
nearly there, isn't it?
They finished. I mean, they'll be finished in February, which is kind of a bit crap, to be honest. Having a 4-month layoff or a 5-month layoff.
But see, if you win the league,
it's a bit sweeter.
If you win the league, mate, then it's longer to party in it, mate. So, but it's a good result for them.
It is a good result. Hamley Row are kind of in a really poor run now, only winning 1 at the last 6. It's kind of been the top 4 have been a bit far above everybody else, but Kilsyth and Finnart are a step above as well.
Do you see the interview with the manager?
Mate, I didn't. I seen it was on Twitter, but I've not watched it.
He looked as if he couldn't want to get any further away from the guy asking the questions as possible.
I wonder, because mind when we done a Division 4 special, we tried to get him on, and basically the reply I got was, the assistant manager will do it, and he just must not like doing things like that.
Listen, and that's totally fine, because obviously what he's shown is that he's good at managing the team and doing the right things and putting out a winning team, because his team are doing very well, and when they've played against teams in the higher levels, they've competed well. So it doesn't matter if you don't like doing interviews, mate. The most important thing in this game is being able to put a team out and run a team and be organised, and he seems to be able to do that. So it's very tense between them and Finnart. There's no margin for error, so that'll still, even if the league finishes earlier, it's going to be interesting to see the last couple of games to see how it unfolds.
What I would say, just looking at the league table now, right, and I mean, we're not going to win the league. We're a bit too erratic.
Are you sure now?
I'm sure. We're not going to win it.
Are you sure? Because I know that I knew when you were winning games, man. We kept trying, man. We wanted it for you.
Right. But having said that, if we win our 5 games in hand, which is a big if, we're only 2 points behind Kilsyth.
Aye.
So technically, I think Finnart will win the league, to be honest. But
see, being honest with you, that's it's mad to say, because it must be so frustrating for yourselves and tagging the boys when you think it's an opportunity missed.
It's for me.
Half points that you have dropped.
I think we had that wee spell earlier in the season where we played Finnart, we played Kilsyth, we played Hamley Row, and lost to them all by 1 goal. Finnart, we scored an own goal in the last minute after battering them. Kilsyth, they scored in the last minute against us, against the run of play. It was 2 each, and we were going for the winner. We've had a corner, they broke it apart and scored it round through. Hamley Row have been the only team that they beat us by 1 goal, but in the second game they beat us by 3 or something. They're the only team that have gave us a bit of agony this season. But the ones that bother me are when we lost to Hart Hill, when we lost to BSC, after taking 8 off them like a week or 2 before, you're like, you win the 2 games, and I know it's all if buts and maybes. You win the 2 games, we're still in a right good shape of winning the league. I mean, we'd be sitting 6 points off or 7 points off of Finnart with 2 games in hand, and you're in a right good position. But it's easy to say that now because it's done. But It's we'll see how it goes next season for us. I think
Yeah.
it's a wee bit
One. I think did we talk about? Did we mention the Shire scoring 6 goals down at the?
We didn't, mate.
Atherton?
We didn't. That's actually, I forgot to say that. Great result for the Shire, 6-2.
I just think for me that was one that really stuck out when I seen the results as well, because Ardrossan have got the new management team in, and right, for Billy and his team to get down there and score 6 goals and win the game so impressively, it's a top result for them. Mate, I think you've got big Brennan getting a hat-trick up front and that as well, and
they've been doing really well, to be
honest. It stuck out to me, that one.
No, I actually didn't realise I hadn't said that. I mean, I know Ardrossan have had a really poor season, but Gav Friel's gone in. You always expect that initial lift, and then Petershill went down and skidded them. So that's a great result going down there. But that'll bring us to an end. That was enjoyable. It was good to be talking about football again. It
was actually good because I feel we actually covered most games there because there wasn't a big fixture list. Do you know what I mean? So it was good to get back at it.
I think, as we said before we came on, probably about 15 minutes or something. That's nearly 40 minutes or something we've been on. Honestly. So it's been good. It's good to get a chat about it. It was enjoyable to be back. I don't think we have anything. No anything coming up. Well, we've got a live night at the United Bar and Drumchapel. We were up there the other day, put some pictures on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, and we've got a great night planned. We're literally, I think we've only got it's only about 20 odd tickets we've got left. So make sure if you want to get it.
Listen, I don't think we can say any more about it between us, mate. I think that the last 20 tickets should be gold dust and they should be getting snapped up. And you know what the good impressive thing is? It's not just Drumchapel people that have been buying tickets, it's people from all there. So don't let that put you off. The hospitality will be class up there. You'll see a couple of things that will blow your mind.
And then once that's shown you, boys, we'll show you some other stuff. £10, great entertainment for us too. They've got a DJ on. We've got a buffet provided. I mean, for a tenner, a night out with the boys, can't beat it. Can't beat it. So make sure you get in touch with us on social media if you want to get a ticket, because we literally don't have many left now. Everybody, enjoy your week, and it was good being back. I'm going to go and get ready and go to my night shift.
Off. See you later.
No, see you after.